called You Can Count on Me. Fernando sent me this scene. Fernando is very sensitive. This is Fernando, by the way. He ran away when I tried to introduce him before. Oh, hey, Melinda. So we got, we're going to shoot this scene, and I guess, are they brother and sister? Is that how it is? That seems like it, right? Yeah. And they're going to be kind of in a restaurant. Obviously, we're in a retail store. If you were shooting this for real, you would try to find a good location or possibly have a set or whatever. We're going to do the best we can in this space for illustration. So in the actual movie, they're sitting in front of a big picture window, so we did put them by the windows. We want to, I think, simulate some kind of a window light feel. We're not going to shoot with the windows, and the reason why you wouldn't necessarily just shoot with the available light is because when you're shooting a film, a single camera film like this, you're going to shoot multiple takes from multiple angles, and we don't want the lighting to really change on us. So even though the late daylight will be affecting our scene, we're going to put something else in to kind of enhance it, I hope, as I say that, right? Usually that might require you to put something outside the windows or in the windows. We'll see how they're going to surprise me today, because these guys like to surprise me. So before we do anything, though, let's talk a tiny bit about audio. So you're going to want to, oh, good. We already shot the first scene, so you do, okay, good.
Great.
All right, so we didn't have the budget for stand-ins, so we have to actually have the actual actors here for the, here for it. They've never met before. They're going to go through this the very first time. What we want to do, though, is we need to collect audio, obviously, right? We want to be able to hear our actors. The narrative is going to involve audio. So the way we're going to do it, you want to try to do it two sources of audio if you can, two types of audio. One would be a lavalier microphone, which we will hide on our subject. I'm presenting to you all now, so I've got a lavalier microphone right here, and you can see it, but if you were watching a movie and you saw a microphone attached to somebody, it would probably take you out of the scene a little bit. So we're going to actually hide our microphones, and the way we're going to do that is I've got the lavalier microphone here that we're going to use on these guys. This happens to be, people always ask, this happens to be a Sennheiser something or other. Say it louder so I can hear it. Which Sennheiser is this? It's a G3, isn't it? ABX. This is ABX. So you can see the little tiny microphone.
Is the MKE2.
This is an MKE2 microphone, and this is an ABX. So this is basically the pack, right? This sends the audio to our camera. That's the receiver that plugs directly into our XLR. So for the camera today, we're using a Sony FS7, which is a pretty good camera for this. And we're going to record the audio directly into the camera. Now, we've only got 2 people in the scene, and we have 2 ports for our audio, so we're just going to use 2 lavalier mics, 1 on each person. You would also want to, in an ideal world, use a boom mic to capture the audio. That's going to give you a kind of a richer audio sound. It's going to pick up a little bit more environment. Then also, if one of the lavaliers scrapes or moves or something, you'll be able to recover the sound using that. Because of our setup here, we are going through a multicam system, and we got some kind of oddball things that you probably won't be doing. We can only use the 2 mics, so we're going to not use the boom mic in this case, but that is definitely highly recommended. So what we're going to do in order to hide this mic is I've got my little tiny mic, which is all right. Boom. Yep, there it is. It's so little. Okay. I'm going to take this here, which is moleskin. Right? So moleskin is a product that you can buy like in your drugstore or whatever. You put it on your feet when you have blisters. But what's nice about this is that it's basically sticky, and it's kind of okay to be against skin and stuff. It doesn't irritate. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a moleskin sandwich. We're going to take our lav, right, and we're going to put it in the moleskin. Now, obviously, depending on your lavalier microphone, this one picks up the audio from the top. So we're able to put the moleskin on there like that, right? And that's going to allow us to then stick it against the person. And we're going to use the second piece. This is why it's a sandwich. Otherwise, it would be an open-face sandwich, right? Making myself hungry. I'm going to go like that, right? And depending on what they're wearing or whatever, we could either stick it to them or to the inside of their clothing, you know, like that. And then we're going to pick up our sound, right? We're going to hide this on each of our actors, kind of like roughly where mine is, somewhere in this kind of area here, right? and we'll be able to pick up our sound. So let's try that. So we're gonna, that should be fun. Can you mic yourself?
Yeah.
Well, you could do it, yeah, maybe turn around. Have some modesty. Well, I actually asked her to do it herself because I thought she would leave and go somewhere else, but apparently, you know, come to Adorama where we, you know. Now we're gonna have to rate this video adult rated. We'll actually probably get more views, right? All right, so.
They're asking to go over again why you didn't close the blinds.
Oh, because we want to show the outside. Why didn't we close the blinds? Because we're going to show the outside, right? We want to show the street. We covered this one because there's a giant ugly TV in the way. It's probably not ugly from the other side, but from this side it's ugly.
The Duvetine, though doesn't look good, not as good as the...
Yeah, I mean, originally in the film, and of course we're not going to be able to match it exactly. They're in this giant restaurant. There was a window there, so we figured we would use that because it's kind of a challenge and fun. However, Adorama has some TVs in the window there. They're showing kind of some content, possibly even what's going on right now. I could be outside in the window. Somebody run out there and check. No, it's not that. It's probably some advertisement for a TV. So the back of the TV was kind of ugly, so we decided to just cover it just to keep things simple. That's just a piece of Duvetine there. A nice Venetian blind might have been nice or something if you were, you know, if you were going to try to build it out to make it a little bit nicer for a set. We didn't cover these ones because we want to use that window light as part of our lighting scheme, as it would be. That's a good question, though. Other questions? Okay, so we need to mic up Scott. Do we have another mic?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to do the same thing on Scott. He's going to get his own sandwich. Oh, did you take the moleskin from me, or you only cut 2 pieces?
I cut one each.
Oh, but you need 2 each.
Should be there. No, I cut 2 pieces there.
Yes, you did.
Oh, there it is.
Actually, everybody watching this online knows that I put those over there, but Fernando doesn't know, so don't tell him. Okay, so, and we're going to mic up Scott the same way. Simple as that, right? Does everybody love this movie? Have you seen this movie? No, me neither. Has anybody seen this movie? What's the name of the movie again?
What? You can count on me.
You Can Count on Me. It's Fernando's favorite movie. Yes. It's that and The Smurfs 3. Those are Fernando's 2 favorite movies. It's a tie. Apparently there was a Smurfs movie. Did you know about this? Apparently there was multiple Smurf movies. You know what Smurfs are? I don't know. You've seen it?
I've seen it.
Okay, I knew somebody said they saw it. Did you like it?
That's cute.
Yeah. What's that? Oh, really? Katy Perry was the girl Smurf. You mean Smurfette? Yeah. What did you think about that? How was her performance in that? She was cute. Okay. I gotcha. So the Smurfs are these blue, you know what the Smurfs are, right? I don't know. Okay. Which Garfield movie? The one with Bill Murray? Or was there another Garfield movie? Because they're saying the Garfield movie. I only saw the one. I mean, I personally, I only saw the one with Bill Murray. That's a long time ago, though, right? Wasn't a Smurf movie something new? I'm going to say that I actually am more of a Heathcliff fan. You know Heathcliff? You know what I'm talking about. No? No Heathcliff? Heathcliff is like the rival cat comic, right? Nope, nope, Garfield fan, she's gone. Heathcliff is kind of more of like a tough cat, where Garfield is just kind of fat, which is cute. Okay. Cool. All right, so we're going to use, to light this up, we're going to use some LED lights, right? Why are we using LED lights when Daniel hates LED lights? 2 reasons. I don't hate LED lights, but one is that we want to work with daylight white balance, just keeps our life simple. Also because we're kind of, the ones we have, these Westcott, I have one that I can show. So these are the Westcott flex lights. Let me show these over here. I got distracted by the Garfield movie. So it's really super skinny. We can put it wherever we want. Run them off batteries if we want, although I think there's probably power out there, but maybe there's not. And we got daylight white balance. We're going to position these in so we can get some light that feels like it's coming from the windows, right? Because we have windows in our shot clearly. We want to feel like the shot's lit by the windows.
It's got a little diffusion panel.
Right. So this thing can be just taped to the wall or something. You can also put diffuser, which comes with it, on there. And as well, it has like a little frame if you want to be able to mount it, which I think is how we're doing it right here. Let me see the frame. You've got your frame and a clamp, right? Simple as that. We can run it off batteries. I use these a lot for interviews and stuff, but they're also pretty good for this. You know, they're not crazy tremendously bright, but it's a cloudy day, and also we got bounce light coming in, so we're not having to like super overpower it. We're not trying to simulate hard sun coming through the window. We just want light coming from the window. If I wanted to get more of a hard sun light in the window, I'd probably go with more like HMIs or something and put them outside and just blast the window. But for this kind of bouncy feel, it should work out pretty nicely, I think. Was that the battery?
Yeah.
Cool. So here's the battery pack for it. Am I pointing it out of the, oh no, it's still there, yeah. So we're gonna power this bad boy up with the battery. Questions so far about this? Pretty simple so far, right? So what we ultimately want to do when we're setting these dialogue scenes up, when you're working with like a small crew and that type of thing, is we want to try to keep our life as simple as possible, right? And part of that is going to be the idea of setting ourselves up in a way that hopefully when we change camera angles and stuff, we won't have to change up our lighting and stuff. So we're thinking very broad with our lighting. We may have to tweak it a little bit, but we're going to set up for our wide shot. And in an ideal world, once we have the two shot, we'll be able to just kind of punch in the angles we want and not have to change much. It's going to make our life go a lot faster. The other thing is, the other reason why I like to do the two shot first as well is because, you know, they're going to get, I think I did that right. I always do it wrong, so we'll see if I did it right that time. The two shot, they're further away, right? We're probably going to use the more dramatic dialogue parts. Did I do it backwards? I always do it backwards. No matter what I do it backwards. We're probably going to use the closer shots for the more dramatic parts where they really get into it. So by the time we get into for the tighter shots, they're going to be a lot more loosened up, right? So this almost gives them like a good to get into their space and feel it out.
Yeah.
Questions? Did I miss anything? I'm going pretty fast today. Must be the coffee.
The two shot also helps establish their location in relation to each other.
That is good. That's good. Dave talks too sometimes. It's awesome, right?
Wow.
Shouldn't Dave talk more often? That is true. So you know where they're at, right? We're not starting off in somebody's eyeballs because it's especially, I guess, it depends on your scene. I suppose you could start off some scenes for dramatic purposes. If you don't want the viewer to know where they are, you could start with the tighter shots, but this will give us a nice wide shot. We want to know that they're at Adorama having a drink. By the way, if you want to come to Adorama and just have drinks, that's something that we do here every Thursday. It's not true. Not true at all. But come by today at Thursday, right after we're done. We'll have drinks. Set this over here promoting, which is nice. For anybody, are you guys all filmmakers? No? Photographer, and you showed up by mistake. You were like, this isn't photography at all, is it? So yeah, if you are a photographer or you want to be, Seth was saying, promoting that we are doing a, on the 13th, right? So that's next week, after the OnSet, which by the way is a photography one next week, so if you are a photographer and you just happen to stumble in, we're doing a critique. So if you want to show some of your work and get critiqued, feel free to sign up for that. You can see it at adorama.com/events. But yeah. All right, so you can see we've got our lights positioned by the windows, right? This is we're roughing them in, I guess, first to see where we're going to be at. We want to make sure they're obviously out of our shot and that they got an angle that's going to be pleasing to our subjects. We are going to obviously kill the light in here as we get closer. You don't have to do it yet, but yeah, just so we can kill some of it so you guys can start to see. Basically, this is going to be primarily lit from the outside, right? We're going to be shooting from the shadow side. You can maybe leave the China ball on so I can be lit and maybe kill that. This is please. We have a DMX board, not DMX the rapper, right? DMX is a rapper, right? I got that right. Okay, good.
That's where he gets the name.
I get confused with BMX, which is a bicycle. It's a type of bicycle, not a bicycle. I was much more of a 10-speed bicycle person. Let me kill that one too.
Fernando is, he clamped a super clamp to the frame to give us a little more articulation, just to kind of bring the light out away.
Ah, okay, right.
You know,
So the light wasn't exactly in the right position. We're going to get them kind of close and then maybe turn them on so we can see what they look like. Let's look through the camera, though, just so we can see what it looks like with no lights. Can we look through the camera? Is that possible?
We'd have to turn off the China ball.
Yeah, well, let's kill the China ball for a second.
It's going to be pretty dark.
So this is pretty much our scene. Perfect. Right?
That's it. Done.
That's it. So this is how we do it. This is the scene in the dark. So we've got our camera in position. This obviously doesn't look good, right? Because the thing is, when you're lighting something, whether it be for film or for anything, right, you might want it to be natural, but your camera doesn't pick up the same depth that your eyes do, right? So you need to introduce light to it so you have some kind of control over what it looks like, right? Like I can see with my eyes, I can see them totally fine. It looks fine, doesn't look terrible. But in the camera, it's much, much, much darker. Even shooting with a cinema camera like this that we can shoot in log, you know, you can certainly pull that detail back up, but it's never going to be as nice. By the way, start the count now of how many people go out there and smoke. This is like Smoker's Corner in New York. So we're going to start, right? So start the smokers. We'll start so this is basically what it looks like. We're going to now introduce the light so it feels like it's coming from the direction of the windows, which is what Fernando's doing now. Maybe just turn one on so we can just get it, even though I know it's not in the right spot, just so we can see what it looks like, generally speaking. And again, these are going to have dimmers. We're going to be able to now introduce the light in, right? So now we're not losing him, right? He's not just going to be a muddy silhouette. We're going to get some nice kind of definition from the light. The trick here is going to be getting it in the right spot so it feels as natural as possible without, you know, feeling lit per se, because we want it to be like windows, right? So obviously, the other thing you might be noticing is that a lot of that light is hitting her, right? We're going to cross light, right? That's how we're doing it? That is what we're doing, right? Yeah. Okay. So we're basically going to, okay. Well, let's go off the camera while she's reaching down her shirt. Hey, how are you? Although we'll get more views that way. Nothing to see here. Questions so far? Are you drawing a picture of me? Is that what you're doing? I think you are. It looks like you're drawing a picture of me. Make sure you get my good side. Okay. Cool. So now we're going to move our actors around slightly. We're going to move our set around. We're going to move the lights until we get things to look, again, natural, but good, right? We want it to feel, well, that's a cool angle. Want it to feel like the light is coming from the windows. Other questions about that? These guys are almost too good, right? Too fast. Is that a little tiny coffee? It's a macchiato. Is that a little tiny coffee? Okay. I mean, I'm sure there's a difference. There's probably something in it.
It's a double shot espresso
With hot caramel?
almond.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds good. All right. It's just really little.
You mean like an espresso?
Yeah, it's two. Right. It's no, but it's 2 espressos.
2 shots.
2 shots of espresso. Well, I used to live in Miami, and they have the Cuban coffee. Have you ever had Cuban coffee?
Yeah.
Like that cup is like 8 of them, because you only drink a little tiny shot of it. It's really, really strong. There's a lot of sugar in it.
You know what's also good is the flat white.
Flat white.
Yeah.
What is a flat white?
Ristretto.
What is it?
It's ristretto espresso with heavy cream.
Oh,
Very smooth.
espresso with heavy cream. That sounds like ice cream to me. Coffee ice cream, basically, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like that flavor in a way.
There's a lot of food conversation that goes on the film set, obviously. Craft service will be here shortly.
Mostly all about coffee.
All right, so where are we at here?
Where are we?
You tell me.
It's flex.
Yes, these are the Westcott Flex. So we have a little 2-light kit. Again, we got the little batteries dangling.
How How many lumens are flex?
That is a good question. I do not know how many lumens they are, but you could look on the manufacturer site, I'm sure.
They're really bright.
Yes, that's how I would say it too.
Yeah, that's as much as I can say. They're really bright and they do last quite a bit on the battery.
You have flex sky. These are brighter than the sky. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry.
Okay.
Oh, are those the ones from that's the one with the other West.
I don't know.
Yeah, they would not know exactly what.
Okay, so Dave is now setting up his exposure using the ND. Is that what you're doing? Looks like it. We're getting a base exposure. Shifting the camera around. Get yourself lined up where you want to be. Okay, questions about that? I don't know the exact lumens of a light, but you certainly can check it out. These are pretty bright. If there was a heavy amount of light coming through the window, they wouldn't be enough. But in the case that, yeah, they probably, yeah, all the LEDs have decent color now. If you yeah, okay. All right, so you're lining them up. Any other questions? This is what we do on a film set. We wait for the lighting people to set everything up. Well, he is handsome. Scott is one of the best looking dudes I've ever met. I don't want to say the best looking dude because you just never know. I mean, you're a good looking guy too, but then look at this guy. I like that the hair is getting bigger too. Yeah. Yeah, it's. Yes. Right, so we're getting some lens flare, right? And lens flare doesn't make sense because we have bounce soft light coming from the wall. So even if you were somebody who's into lens flare, like it doesn't make sense to have lens flare now. So we're gonna try to eliminate it. One of the problems with using a softbox style light or any kind of big soft light like this is that it's throwing the light everywhere. We don't have a lot of edge control. So if we use little spotlights, we could put barn doors, etc. So we're just gonna lens hood it basically. We're gonna put a little piece of tape on the lens because someday we'll have lens hoods, but not anytime soon. Or a matte box would be even better. So we could probably also use a flag, no, on the lens. Why don't we do that, because we have so many flags. I know I would use this. The finger's too long, isn't it? Oh, actually, here you go. Would you prefer the finger? Okay. We're just going to flag the lens. Flags are always important because, you know, extra piece of equipment on set, makes people feel happy. So next week, even if you're a filmmaker, you might want to come next week. I don't want to give anything away. It's next week, right? There might be a live musical performance. I'm just going to say, I'll put it out there. I'm going to put it out there. Might be next week. Might be. That's cool. That work? Cool. So now we've got the flag. We can see how the flag is over the lens. You can see that, right? We're just putting it over the top of the lens, make sure no light comes in. Simple as that, it's a flag. And I think for simplicity's sake, they're going to try to just bounce the light back in. And we just have a white card right now, I think. We'll see how that works out for us. How's that look? Can you do that again while the camera's up? Can you put the camera up for me, Seth? There you go. Let me. Yeah, probably gonna need a little more.
Oh yeah, do that.
All right, we're gonna turn our lights up a bit.
He's trying to save power on the battery.
Right, because we are running off battery, right? So we're being somewhat conservative. I only allowed Fernando one battery today. He's got to make it work. And we're just gonna bring the power up just a tiny bit, work our exposure. By the way, did you notice that van's here today? The van is always there when we shoot by the windows. If you come to these things regularly, I am here every single Thursday. If we're shooting this way, there is never a van there. The day we shoot towards the window, van. Always.
Somebody's calling.
Yeah, I think so. They're like, oh look, let's put a van here. Every single time.
I like this effect that Fernando's got going, where
Yeah,
the
me too.
flag is in the frame. That's
Yeah, well, that's a good effect. I like it. It's definitely working, though.
Move it.
Nope. No, I can't.
Okay.
Language.
Flag is too low. Yeah.
No, that's not the flag. There you go. That was a test to see if you guys are paying attention. That's the anamorphic. Since we don't have anamorphic mode, we decided to go with the, well, not anamorphic, but a 235. I like this teamwork.
Anyway,
All right, take it away.
yes, that's
Take it away. Yeah, it's filling it in a bit. You probably want to put it up on a stand, though. Do you want more than that?
when he uses it.
Put it back in. Oh, yeah. So here we are in Adorama, right? And of course, I'm looking at the terrible TV. Actually, this is a wonderful TV. It's on sale this week. No, we're looking at this terrible TV. This is not a monitor. So if you need, when something's subtle, you want to make sure you're using a good monitor. You know, so since we don't have a big monitor set up, I'm using the one on the camera to get our final decision on where the light should fall. It definitely makes a heck of a lot of a difference.
You should be able to put the lead out.
Yeah, that's what I do. No,
Okay.
I can't.
Cool. Other questions about this? So it's simple, right? Light's coming from the window. We're controlling it, right? By the way, if we tried to get this shot without lighting it, right, to get them lit, we could obviously open up our lens, take away the ND, go higher ISO, but what's going to happen is our window is going to completely blow out, right? We're going to lose all the detail back there. It might even flare out if we were to try to push it that far. So, you know, you want to try to keep that detail if you can. If we did decide we want to shoot, let's say, more wide open, then we would just do that and then drop some ND on there. We still want our balance of our exposure. We don't want to have overly blown out windows. We don't want to lose detail if we don't need to, right? Plus, that van is so important to me. Yeah, I know. Actually, I was going to say, there's no. Yeah, it is, right? That's New York, right? Put a van there. You know, we should put those signs up. You know, they put the signs up on the street, like no parking here, if we're filming. We're going to start doing that. Yeah. All those signs do in New York is make people go to that street on that day to see what's filming, right? It's like, oh, what's filming that day? And you see all the people gathered around. You know what I'm talking about. If people are from New York, you know what I'm talking about. They put signs up all over the place. Filming Sex in the City or whatever. Exactly.
It's my favorite way. I just have to go.
Exactly. Well, that's how you become an extra in a movie and not get paid. All right, so as usual, we sell these special Seth boards. $85 a piece. Are you bringing me something? What's that? Is that a gift for me? What is that? Oh, it's a tripod. Oh, no, I don't need a tripod. Thank you, though. Hey, Toby. We're making a movie. Yeah, it's pretty exciting. Yeah, we could use you. Okay, so the silver reflector would increase the amount of light, certainly, but it's also going to add some specularity to it. So you might not want the silver reflector because it might not look as natural, because you might get kind of either more focused light or maybe even like a dappled light where it's spreading all over the place, depending on the fabric you're using or the hard. So we try to use white when we can for a more naturalistic look, but if it wasn't enough, we would have switched to silver. Or are you using a silver? Sometimes I go through that entire thing, and then they're using a silver anyway, and they're just like messing with me. Yeah, I thought so, okay. No, I'm definitely, of course. By the way, they don't tell me anything. Have you ever seen that that show, Mystery Science Theater 3000? This is what I feel like here. They just do stuff behind me. I have no idea what's going on. All right. They're testing me to see if I know what I'm doing. All right, so they're going to do a sound test, so I'll shut up. Oh, it's going to be a couple minutes, so I will continue to talk about Mystery Science Theater. Apparently they brought it back. It's on Netflix now. Yeah, I'm not so sure if I'm... I saw it pop up on Netflix, but I was like... Yeah. White tablecloth may have been good for us. Next time we'll add that to our budget. No, it is true. If white tablecloth would have bounced up more light, it may have been better or worse, depending on what you're going for. This particular table has a black cloth on it, so we're kind of working around it. But yeah, that will help get more like catch light in their eyes and stuff, especially for the closer shots. It's sometimes nicer to have a brighter tablecloth, and you can certainly think about that when you're designing your set, right?
Do they want to see the difference between like completely lights off and lights on, so they know what it actually plays?
Yes. So let's do two things actually, since that was a good point they made. Do we have another card?
Another card?
Is there another Seth card, or do we sell them all?
Not exactly.
Oh, okay. Then I'm not
We
going to
have-
show that.
we have in
I
the
was going to put
office.
it on the table to show you what the white would do.
Oh, I mean, we can do it with this one.
Yeah, let's just, so, because the white tablecloth is a really good point, so let's kind of show what that might look like. We're going to put the white on the table. Or we'll just block the screen with it. It's good. Also good. So pretend like that's a tablecloth, so you can see how much that kicks up the light into their eyes. Now, with this soft-ish light, it's actually pretty good. But if the light was really hard and specular, that might actually create that horror movie type light. So you got to be somewhat careful about reflectiveness. But certainly the white is nice. It's a good point for the close-up shots. Maybe we'll even try that for one of the close-up variations.
You have to still do the side where we're going to do the fill, but then do the bottom as well. Because right now you're still getting some of that.
Well, no, of course you would do both. Obviously, we just can't do both because he's a low budget. We only can afford one piece of foam core. If Seth wouldn't charge us so much for the foam core, cool. Yeah, no, it's a really good point. So thank you, online person. Huh? Seth's trying to tell me your name, but I can't hear him because I'm deaf. No, I didn't have any idea what he was saying. I knew that he was trying to tell me your name. I'm sorry, Guy. I heard Guy, so I'm assuming you're a man. Oh. Yeah, good idea, though, with the white.
We're basically ready to start. Sound test was good.
Sound test looked good. Okay, so we're going to do a rehearsal. And for the rehearsal,
Do you want to link
I'm assuming we're going to do it the same way we always do it.
the audio into the board?
Yeah, if we can. Because otherwise they won't be able to hear it, right? Okay.
So are they mic or is it?
Okay, so if we had been on time, see how I did that? Because you were here, right? But you want to hear it again. No, so people who are just tuning in now, that's a good question before we start the audio. They're wearing lavalier mics that are hidden under their clothes. Whoa. That was amazing. It's line in, so you're going to hit the line button, otherwise it's going to. So basically they've got lavalier mics. Just don't lose, I'm still up, right? Okay. So they've got lavalier mics hidden under their clothes.
It's been a couple months since I've seen it, obviously.
Hidden under their clothes, and that's all we're going to use. We're not going to use a boom mic because you can see we have kind of a weird situation here. Because we're going into a board and a multicam, so you guys can see we're teaching in class. This is not a perfect situation. Normally we would maybe have like a separate audio recordist that would be have all the mics into their pack and they'd be listening. That's going to be better for you. If you are a small crew though, going into a camera like this is fine, but you're going to be limited to just the two mics.
Tone down the white.
But what we really want is people online to be able to hear, which is what we're trying to do now. That is correct. The lavalier mic is there. They have a body pack hidden on their body, just like I do. Right, it's hidden right here. And the receiver is plugged in. These are the new Sennheiser Fancy Fancies. They're very nice. We just got them.
Really?
So hopefully they work.
Yeah, thanks for letting us know right
Right,
before.
right.
Yes. What camera am I using? This is the Sony FS7 II. Adra? Viedra mini primes are the lenses. This is a 25, so it's a tiny bit wide. Well, what is the format that we are shooting in? We are going to shoot in log, I'm assuming. Yeah, we're shooting log. We're shooting in XAVC and in log, Sony log, or S-log. S-log. Yeah, I mean, you want to shoot in log, obviously, because we're going to want to be able to go in and do our color grading and stuff. Keeps it nice.
Yeah, I guess I was in jail for a little while in Florida for just bullshit.
Do a quick audio test. Can you count to 10?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
1, 2, 3, 4,
8,
5,
9,
6,
10.
7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
That wasn't me.
Might need that again.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, okay.
Not to 10.
I didn't even have to look at her to know she was going like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Just, I know your work, Daniel. Partners here.
All right, so what we're going to do, just so people know, we've got them plugged into the board here, and we're going to play it through the speakers so you guys can hear, so you know the scene, you can hear what's going on while they do like a rehearsal. But then when we go to actually record, I think we're going to have to turn off these speakers here, because otherwise we'll get an echo in the actual final recording, and we want to make sure we have a good sound for that. That might be me, so I'll turn myself up.
The reason you haven't heard from me for a little while is
God, I hate you.
because I've been
They're recording fine, but the signal being
unable to write because I've been in jail.
You were what?
Elisa, can you
What?
count 10 one more time, please?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Well, what is it on the table? That's what I'm thinking.
I've been in jail.
You were what?
Yeah, I was in jail for a little while which is for bullshit.
Yeah.
What?
I was just
But
bullshit.
you can,
What did
can't
you
you?
do?
I didn't do you ever think that maybe I was wronged here?
No.
Okay, well I didn't do anything.
Oh my God.
Please, just let me
What
explain.
happened?
Okay, I was in Florida and I got into a
Okay, so we're getting a little cabling going so you guys can hear. It's very important. This is a great movie. You'll be very excited. You're waiting for this.
I didn't like you.
Hey, Asbel. How you doing?
I just figured that
Asbel's chilling out back there.
you figured that I was on the road
Any questions while we're hanging out?
for a little while.
Waiting for audio?
Like, I know it's stupid, and I'm sorry.
Somebody will say sound speed eventually, and then we know we're
I really
good.
didn't want to make you work. You know what? I can't go
No
on
questions?
all the time
Either
doing
because it's
stuff for
really
nothing,
confusing,
so thinking about
or
how much it's
you
gonna
100%
matter,
follow
you
what's
know?
going on.
'Cause then I get in this
One or the other, or
situation where
possibly
I'm coming
both.
to try to tell you about
How's my portrait coming out?
fucking traumas that I'm going through, and you just give me this wounded little, I've done you wrong bullshit over and over again. And it's fucking
What'd you guys do
cramping,
did you do anything
know?
4th of July?
Like, I can't get out from under
It's a
it.
big holiday, 2 days ago,
Here I
right?
am in this exact
You see
same
fireworks and
fucking
stuff?
hole trying to
You live here in
explain
New York?
Please.
In Seattle?
myself.
Oh, you live in Stanford. Oh, so good stuff up
It's
there.
not like I went down
Oh, you
there
came all the ways down here
in
for
that
this?
car and got in this fight with some
Nice.
shitter's
Well, thank you.
boyfriend just so I could get
Stanford's
this
it's
and
Connecticut,
send
I'm
me-
assuming.
send
Yeah,
myself
okay.
to jail for 3 months.
I was actually up in Danbury over the weekend. It's very nice up there. Lots of trees. Connecticut's a good place. Always traffic in Connecticut, right? I don't know why. Maybe there's just a lot of people and roads aren't wide enough. Have you ever driven through Connecticut? Well, you have because you live there. How about you? You drive through Connecticut? Always traffic. I don't know why.
You didn't write me for 6 months.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
And I have no idea where you are. I don't
So
know
we're
if
using
you're
S-Log
alive
3.
or Dead.
I'm sorry.
Any particular reason? Because that's the one we like. Is there a particular reason? We want you to tell them why.
Yeah, it's the.
You're muted.
Yeah. What?
Fernando?
Hello.
There you go.
There we go. Yeah, somebody on the internet was asking about which S-Log. We're using S-Log 3, basically because it's the latest one and helps with the best dynamic range. I mean, it's the newest one, basically. Always use the newest stuff.
Straight from the horse's mouth, as they say. Always use the newest one. Well, I mean, generally they're improving stuff. In this situation, again, because we're kind of heavily backlit, we do want to make sure our dynamic range is there. We can always crunch it down, right, when we do our grading and post, we can make those shadows darker, but we don't want to have a lot of shadows or dark shadows, because if we have to pull all that up, we're going to start getting noise in our image. We don't want to introduce noise to our image if we can avoid it. Well, the internet won't be able to hear it. Is that true? Yeah. Not even through his mic? Okay. Okay, well, we may just have to roll with it. People on the internet, you may not be able to hear her. Let me know if you can hear her or not. We've got a little bit of a stereo mix issue going on in our board here.
Test on them?
Yeah. Well, since this is the
Well, you didn't write me for 6 months.
since this is
And I have no
the
idea where
rehearsal,
you are.
can we
I
maybe
don't
just put the
know
handheld
if you're
on the
alive
ground so they can
or
hear a little bit?
And then you show up out of nowhere.
We're just going to put the handheld on the table, just so you can hear her a bit, because people online aren't going to know anything that's going on. Obviously, we'll take it off when we do the final recording, because we can't have a handheld mic there. We're getting good audio at our camera. Again, this is one of those weird things that we're doing here that you're not going to end up having to do. We're going to do our camera, and everything's wonderful, but then we're trying to go out to a mixing board so people can watch online. So hopefully this will work. We got your handheld action. Don't pick it up and start beatboxing and stuff. She's going to start freestyling.
Why?
I don't know why she would do it. You don't know what she's going to do.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. I will mute myself. They're going to rehearse. I will get out of the way.
So quiet on set. No, leave the house alone. Do you have any questions after? In the meantime, go ahead.
Cool. So I've actually got to confess to you, Sammy, that the reason why you haven't heard from me for a little while is it's because I wasn't able to write because I was in jail for a little while.
You were what?
Yeah, I was in jail for a little while for bullshit.
What?
Yeah, it was bullshit.
What did you do?
Well, I didn't do anything. You ever think that maybe I was one who was wronged here?
No.
Well, I didn't.
Oh my God, what happened?
Okay, I got into a bar fight down in Florida, which I was not the one who instigated it at all, but they worked up all this bullshit about me and then they sent me to jail for 3 months. I didn't write you because I didn't want you to get all upset about it, you know? I just figured you'd figure I was on the road or something. And I know, it's stupid, and I'm sorry. I really didn't want to make you worry. You know what? I can't go around all the time doing stuff or not doing stuff because I'm worried about if you're worrying or not, you know? So I'm coming to you with my problems now, and I'm trying to tell you about my fucking trauma that I've had, and this is it. You just give me this look that I've done you some sort of wrong, and it's just bullshit, you know? It's over and over again. And here I am in this exact same fucking hole trying to explain myself to you.
Okay, can you please stop cursing at me?
Okay, yeah, I know I'm not allowed to have an opinion about anything, ever again. But it's not like I went down there and got in some argument with a stripper's boyfriend just so I could stick it to Sammy and send myself to jail for 3 months.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, me too. Welcome home.
Yeah. Well, you didn't write me for 6 months, and I have no idea where you are.
I'm sorry.
And I don't know if you're alive or dead. And then you show up out of nowhere and tell me you were in jail?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I am. I'm sorry, Sammy. I'm really sorry.
And it's cut.
Thanks, buddy.
Cool. All right. So
People on the internet were saying that they were getting reverb from the microphone, so they probably are getting her and.
all
this
right.
one,
So possibly. So we'll try again without that microphone there, and we'll see if you hear her or not. This is a big test of the internet. You know, the internet's still kind of new. We're figuring it out. I'm not sure it's going to stick around, to be honest with you.
Sure.
The internet.
Just like,
Question.
you want to settle down after that.
Statement.
Okay.
All right. Question. Okay. Could you hear okay? So
Yeah.
we've got the basic scene down. Fernando's giving some comments. He's directing. He's like, do that better, do that worse, whatever. And then he'll tell us what he's talking about in a second.
That's great. Nice, brother.
Tell people what you were talking to him.
Oh no, I was just talking to the actors about their dialogue. The final part of the scene kind of has a little bit more of a back and forth feel between him apologizing and her trying to point out like his mistake. So I was just telling the actors, you know, to keep it a little bit more of a like throw it back to each other a little better.
Yeah.
That's all.
Because
So
then it,
to
like,
get basically to
actually
get into that rhythm
makes
of,
sense.
you know, going to the back and forth.
Like you're
which we
blaming
missed a
me
little
for
bit, and
Yeah.
then
Okay.
Scott kind of like
I don't
caught
think
on
that
at the very
doesn't
end
make
and
sense
just you know
intellectually.
finished the whole scene.
No, I think it
But-
does.
And it should be a
Like,
little
we
bit
have
more
an
back and forth
antagonistic-
given the script.
Like I do this shit all the time, so it's like how
Tis
many
hole.
years
Nice.
I've dealt with me
I'm
being an
sorry.
idiot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
We're gonna go
What,
for
do you
another
want me
rehearsal.
to
One more.
Cradle
Yep,
you,
go
little
ahead.
baby?
Cool.
That type of shit.
Grown-ass man, yeah.
Let's go for another one.
Cool.
All right, so we're going to see if the internet can hear properly without that second mic.
All right. Quiet, everybody. And take it whenever you guys are ready.
Yeah, so I actually have to confess to you, Sammy, that the reason you might not have heard from me for a little while is, well, it was that I wasn't able to write to you because I've been in jail for a
You were
little while.
what?
Yeah, I was in jail for a little while for bullshit.
What?
No, it was bullshit.
What did you do?
I didn't do anything. Do you ever think that maybe I was wrong here?
No.
Well, you know, I.
Oh my God,
just
what
because I'm-
happened?
Okay, so I was at a bar in Florida and I got into a fight, which I was not the one who instigated it at all. But they worked up all this bullshit about me and then they threw me in the pen for 3 months. Yeah, I didn't write to you because I didn't want you to get upset about it. I just figured that you figured that I was on the road or something, you know? I'm sorry. I know it was stupid and I am sorry. I don't want to make you worry. But you know what? I can't go around living my life wondering if you're gonna worry or you're not gonna worry about stuff because I come back here and I'm trying to unpack to you this fucking trauma that I've been through and you just give me that exact look like I've done you some sort of wrong and it's bullshit and it's over and over again every damn time. And you know, I'm just in the same damn hole again trying to dig myself out by explaining it to you and it's
Okay, can you stop cursing at me?
okay, you know, I know I'm not allowed to have an opinion about anything anymore, but it's not like I went down there and got in some argument at a redneck bar with some stripper's boyfriend just so I could stick it to Sammy by sending myself to jail for 3 months.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, me too. Welcome home.
Yeah. You don't write me for 6 months. I have no idea
I'm
where
sorry.
you are. I don't know if you're alive
I'm
or
sorry.
dead. And then you show up out of nowhere and you tell me you're in jail?
I'm sorry. I am. I'm sorry, Sammy. I'm really sorry. What do you want?
That's a cut. That was it.
Yep.
That was it.
Cool.
You felt it?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Got a little lost in the middle there. But yeah, that was at the end. At the end, that was really that was hot.
I didn't. Whatever you give
See the
me,
difference?
I'm listening. I was just,
So yeah, basically
I'm
now
listening.
the actors are
Okay.
getting into the rhythm of going to the nice back and
cool.
forth. That's why you always
Yeah,
have
right,
to
right.
like just let them go and just explain what's the details that you want changed.
Yeah.
And they'll work it out.
don't
I
think
mean,
you're stressed
hopefully
about that.
you
How
get
are
to
you
work
gonna-
with talented
you should
people
just, if I
like
don't
these
swear,
crew,
just don't.
and just
Okay.
explain
It's
out
fine.
what you
Look.
Really, it was.
what you feel and what
There
you
was a
think
little
the
girl
scene should
came
be,
out,
and
she-
it's all
like, right before
collaboration.
we started, and she was like,
Are you serious?
yeah, like a little girl came around the corner, and I was like, oh no, I have to swear like 10 times.
And also, what you were doing,
Really?
Yeah,
you weren't just texting or on Facebook.
I
You
probably did.
Yes, if you see me on my phone, I'm checking the script to make sure that all the dialogue is actually proper. And I
we
did
talk
notice that
really
one
slow,
quick
just
line in
swear.
the
You need to calm down.
decently sized monologue that Scott was saying got bleeped. So obviously I'm communicating that to my actors and just like, don't forget about this line, or and I mean, as a director, you are responsible to deliver the script as best as possible. But it's also your prerogative to be like, okay, you know what, this line, it's fine if it's not there, but because the take was so good, so I rather sacrifice that line because it's not important. But then again, it could be a really important line on the script that you really have to have in there, so you have to go again.
Okay, so how do you feel about the Furman? All right, so we're going to actually kill the speakers here. Sorry, guys, in the store, so that we can get a cleaner recording. Hold on. And then we're going to run through a couple times so we have a recording, then we're going to switch it up to get the close-ups, okay?
There we go. So that was a take. We have a little bit of issues with the lines on the big monologue. It's a big monologue. So Scott's rechecking the script, making sure everything's fine. Also, Dave is communicating that he kind of wants to maybe do a little pan and tilt. So I'm going to trust him with that one. He knows his stuff. So you're going to give your actors a little moment. Just make sure that they're, you know, comfortable and, you know, reiterate whatever their dialogue is, and then we're going to go again. All right, we're going to... Hello. All right, we're going to go again.
Around doing things or not doing things because I think you're going to be worrying about it. Because I come home and I try to tell you about my fucking trauma, and you just give me this look like I've wounded you, like I've done you wrong, and it's bullshit. I'm just trying to climb my way out from under it, and every damn day I'm in this damn hole again, trying to explain myself to you.
Can you stop cursing at me?
Okay, I'm sorry. You know I'm not allowed to have an opinion about anything. Okay, I'm not allowed to have an opinion about anything, right? But it's not like I went down there and got into some fight at a redneck bar with a stripper's boyfriend just so I could stick it to Sammy and send myself to jail for 3 months, okay?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry too. Welcome home.
Yeah, well, you didn't write me for 6 months, and I have no idea where you are.
I'm sorry.
I don't know if you're alive
I'm sorry.
or dead. And then you show up out of nowhere and tell me you were in jail?
I'm sorry, Sammy. I'm sorry. I really am. I'm sorry.
That's good. Nice.
So Dave, they're asking about the panning. Okay. They're asking about the you can't. We're going to talk about it. What's the? I was just asking what's up with the pan tilt. Gotcha.
Hello? There we go. So yes, now the actors are getting essentially, like, we're probably not going to use the bigger chunk of it, but we want it for sure to, you know, have anything to, you know, cut back. I already know that in my head, the majority of these lines are going to be on him when we do his, you know, close-up for his pickup. So that's where I'm really going to, like, make sure that we get what we get. And if not, you know, if time needs that we need to move, we need to move.
Not really.
All right, so now we're good with this. Let's call it a wide for now, a little more of an establishing shot. So now we're going to start doing close-ups of Annalisa.
So question from the audience. Will we use more than one camera if we had one or a bigger set or whatever? No, not for this type of thing. It's a single camera type operation. If you're shooting like a TV show sometimes though, especially something live, you can definitely use multiple cameras, but for this we generally shoot with one camera. If you're shooting something you can't repeat, special effects, things blowing up, multiple cameras. But for this kind of stuff, we want the nuance of a single camera, so we'll shoot this with a single camera. We have all kinds of cameras. We're at Adorama. So we're moving in now for a close-up on Annalisa, which is like Mona Lisa. Yep. Yeah. All right, so we're getting the basic shot set up. Maybe look through the little camera on one of the smaller windows, just so we can get an idea. So again, we're just kind of getting a feel for where the camera should be. We've got the windows behind. And I think we're probably going to be able to get away with not changing or very minutely changing the light, which is kind of the key here, right? So in the beginning, for a shot like this, if we can get away with it, especially since we're doing this kind of big scope lighting, we don't have to change it unless it's like in the shot or it's just looking to look bad. So we're probably going to get away with this. I mean, we probably could, if we really wanted to, we probably could have added that white now on underneath if I had one, but we don't have another one. But it might change it too much anyways, and I think it might have actually been too much. We're shooting probably 24, yeah. 24 frames is what we're shooting for this. No, I don't think we're going to, because I think it'll look, I actually think it'll be too much. I mean, we could probably, if we had another one, we could do it, but I think it's going to be too much. From what we saw as a wide shot, although actually, can I have that? Okay. I'm messing up Seth's stuff. Reflectors are expensive, so sometimes I just use a MacBook. We might use one of the problems I have with the can I put that there? Is that doing anything? My problem with putting the giant white reflector there is I feel like it would be too much. I put the little tiny thing in there just to bring it up. I think we can see it a little bit. That might be okay. She's thinking she's going to keep that laptop. She's not going to. Right, remember there's a delay on it. We've said 24 frames per second. We're shooting at 24 frames per second, but there is a delay, so possibly they're asking again because it's not a...
The streamer is 60i.
Yeah, it's streaming out into YouTube at 60i, but we're shooting 24 frames. So what you're seeing on YouTube will be slightly different. The streamer puts it out the way the streamer does, but in camera we're shooting at 24. Which is again another kind of odd thing that we're doing here. And that's because of the nature of the live streamer that we're using and the multicam system. It has nothing to do with the quality we're trying to get. In camera, we're recording it as well. So when she moves forward, is that getting weird? Is the light getting weird when she moves forward because of that reflector?
Can you move slowly?
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if it's, no, it's fine. It's not too much. Okay. So just making sure it's not too much. We don't want it to look like completely different or unnatural. Is that a smoker? Somebody smoking back there? Nope, just walking by. Nice. All right, question. Yeah. This is why you never point the camera at Annalisa. Now we know that. She makes funny faces. Questions? Yes. Uh-oh. That's a good question. What is the aperture? That is the size of the hole in the front. Oh. What's the aperture set at? 2.8. No.
2.
No, you're wrong.
We're at T 2.2.
We're at T 2.2.
No, we're shooting 3840 by, or sorry, by 2160. So we're UHD, not DCI.
Yeah, so we're shooting at 2.2, which I think is probably wide open for this lens, I'm guessing.
What was that?
This is probably, no?
Yeah. Yeah, this is wide open.
Yeah. Wide open, yeah. Why not, right?
We were.
Actually, because you might not have enough depth of field. That'd be the reason why not, but yeah, we're shooting at 2.2. Do we have any ND in there?
Yes. What was that?
Or do we have any ND on there? Or?
No.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes, we are. Well, we're using the variable.
Oh, we're using the special variable ND.
So it's a 119.
Ah.
Like not 119, but a 1/19.
Oh, 119.
So like ND19.
ND19. That's kind of cool. You can't get that anywhere else. Well, maybe you can, I don't know. It's pretty cool though. Actually, there was a little camcorder. I think that's where they first introduced that had that. It's a variable ND built into the camera. It's kind of cool. It's part of the system.
Yeah, they also had the FS5 had that as well.
Nice, FS5.
This is the FS7 II.
Two.
So that's why it has that.
Yeah. FS7 I doesn't have it. That's why, like Fernando said, you always have to have the newest one. Other questions? That was a good question, though. And I guess we're going to now do a close-up on Annalisa. I think we're going to leave everything more or less where it's. So all we really added lighting-wise is we decided to throw a little reflector in, little laptop reflector to see what it looks like. Yeah, I think we'll skip the rehearsal so we can keep moving. Is that okay? The audience here is okay with that? No? They didn't know. They want to hear it. The audience here wants to hear it one time on the speaker, so we'll give them the speakers. Listen, they paid their $3 to get in. Yeah, so let's give them speakers, which they have now.
Everybody paid, right?
You did pay the $3, right? It's a yearly membership fee to come into these things, $3. Yeah, people online, you're paying your cable bill or whatever you get your internet with. Oh.
Everything in my head. So there's like a little.
Oh yes, the live stream, it's just coming out of your pocket. You don't realize it right now if you're online watching. No, I'm just kidding.
Just make sure.
Cool. Rehearsal up. And whenever you guys are ready.
Yeah, so I actually got to confess to you, Sammy, that the reason you might not have heard from me for a little while is actually because of the fact that I've been in jail for a little while.
You were what?
Yeah, I was in jail in Florida for a little while for this bullshit.
What?
It was bullshit, you know? It was
What did you
bullshit.
do?
I didn't do anything. Do you ever think that maybe I was the one who was wronged here?
No.
Well, if you would let me explain.
Oh my
Please
God.
let me
Well, what happened?
Okay, I got into a bar fight down in Florida, which, by the way, I was not the one who instigated it at all, but they worked up all this bullshit around it, and then they sent me to jail for 3 months. I didn't write to you because I didn't want you to get upset about it, okay? I just figured that you figured that maybe I was working. You know, I know it's stupid, and I'm sorry. I really don't want to make you worry. But you know what? I can't run around all the time doing stuff or not doing stuff because I think you're going to worry, you know? Because then I come here and I try to tell you about my fucking trauma that I've been going through, and you just give me this wounded little I've done you wrong bullshit over and over again. And it's cramping me, you know? And I just can't get out from under it. And here we are again, and I'm in this exact same hole trying to explain myself to you.
Okay. Can you please stop cursing at me?
Okay, yeah, I know I'm not allowed to have an opinion about anything anymore. But it's not like I went down there to some redneck bar and got into a fight with some stripper's boyfriend, and suddenly I thought to myself, oh, you know what would really stick it to Sammy is if I sent myself to jail for 3 months.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, me too. Welcome home.
Yeah. Well, you didn't write me for 6 months. And I didn't know where you were. You could have been dead or alive.
I'm sorry.
And then you show up out of nowhere and tell me you were in jail?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sammy, I am sorry.
Good. I did that for you. You know I did that for you for the $3.
I gotta get
So
in
yeah,
with
so
those I'm sorries,
that
too.
was pretty good. I mean, at this point we're rolling, right? Again, we did these wide shots to start off, but now they're kind of in the character. They're cranking through it, so we'll be able to get these nice close-up shots and bang it out. Making some technical changes, looks like.
Yeah, well, you didn't write me for 6 months. Well, you don't write me for 6 months, and I have no idea where you are.
I'm sorry.
And I don't know if you're alive or dead.
I'm sorry.
And then you show up out of nowhere, and you tell me you were in jail?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry, Sammy, I really am.
So we're moving the frame
Really
a little bit
sorry.
further back to give the actor a little bit more space. And also Dave is closing down to 2.8. In order for him to have like a little bit of an easier time with the shallow depth of field. The difference from a 2.8 to 2.8.
With follow focus and a monitor.
Yes. Yes, it would be easier with a follow focus and a monitor.
Okay, can you please stop cursing at me?
But yeah, basically we opened up a little bit so the actor can have a little bit more space, and you know we're gonna have to follow them too
I
much.
went down there, some redneck bar, and got into an argument with
We're gonna go
the
for
stripper's
another take?
boyfriend, and suddenly I said to myself,
We're rehearsing
you know
still?
what would be great? So I really stuck it to Sammy here.
All right, we're
by
just gonna
sending
go for
myself
it.
to jail
We're
for
going
3
for
days.
it.
I'm sorry.
How do you feel about
Yeah,
that?
me too.
All right, good.
So we're gonna go. So we're gonna. There we go. So we're gonna go one more. At the end, I don't know if you guys caught that. After his monologue, I wanted to get like that little stretch at the end of the scene. Basically, again, not to go all the way around where the coverage is not on him. So I wanted to avoid the whole monologue at this moment. So I wanted to get that final stretch again while we're still rolling. Right now, we're gonna give them a moment, and then they're gonna do the scene again. Right now, we're focusing on her. So I just want to make sure that I get mainly what I need from her before we move on to like his close-ups. So that's why I repeated specifically after his monologue. So that way, again, in order to try to save yourself time and everything. I mean, we could always get a reaction shots if you really think you need it, but there's no need to retake his monologue from her angle. So we're gonna go again.
Okay, so yeah, so there was a little bit. I was going back through the online chat. So this is not relevant to you here. So stop listening. No. So yeah, we had to for when we started to actually record, we unplugged the monitor for you guys because Dave wanted to be able to hear it through the headphones, and we only have one place to do that. So that's why you stopped hearing sound when we started recording them live. So they actually were talking. Although a silent film could be interesting. Maybe we'll do that next time. You could come in and hold the little signs up in between. You know how they do that in silent films? You know what I'm talking about? You ever seen a silent film before? There used to be this theater near my house that on Halloween, they would play a silent film, like a horror film, obviously. I guess that makes sense, right, on Halloween, with an orchestra, like they used to do it. Very cool. We're not going to do that. We don't have an orchestra. All right, so we're switching sides, so Scott can do his lines. And now he's been delivering the lines perfectly all day. Now the pressure's on. Right? When there was no pressure. Title cards, yes, that's what they're called. Thank you. So we'll make title cards. We'll do a silent film next time. That'll be next time on how to shoot a dialogue, a film with no dialogue, just to really mess with you guys. So yeah, so we're not changing the lighting at this point. We set ourselves up to be as simple as possible so that we could actually work quickly now, right? So then this is going to give us more time to do more takes and not have the actors lose their rhythm because we're constantly having to change things. We just kept the light really simple, right? We still got the two lights coming from the back that are kind of mimicking the window light. We've got a reflector card here just kicking in to fill in the shadows. And it's simple as that. I mean, we got a van out there. That van's bouncing the light in nicely.
We have a fan outside. She's just standing there, but I don't know if we can move.
Oh, you want to ask that person to move their bum?
Yeah.
This is why you need PAs.
This is why you need PAs for sure.
Should we ask her?
Yeah.
Or she has to stay for the whole thing. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Seth is from New York. He's going to go tell her. Well, all right, hold on. Record this. All right, everybody stand by. Do we have the right camera? Hold on. All right, good. Here we go.
Yeah, I know.
We'll start. She's going to start swearing at him. Here we go.
Where's the popcorn?
Tell her to come in, Seth. All right. Yeah, exactly. He's like, it's not me. I thought it looked fine. Yeah. He is. He's blaming me. You see him blaming me?
He's like pointing at you like this guy.
That guy, Daniel, a jerk, making us move.
See him on the street just punching
Yeah. Man, I think he's getting her number now. He's like getting setting up a lunch date. Do you think he knows that he's in the window so we can't do anything until he comes back?
I don't think he knows.
Yeah, that's it. He's just having a conversation. I think we sent the wrong person.
Yeah. 2 minutes.
He's like, yeah, check out my Instagram. I want to know what that dialogue is right now, right? He's like, yeah. Yeah, we should have mic'd him, right? We need to find out what went on outside now.
But first we need to shoot.
But anyways, we'll stay focused. All right, so we switched angles up. Everything's the same camera-wise?
Yeah, just switch them. Obviously we mold the reflector.
Yeah, we adjusted. Thank you, Seth.
Mute for a second.
Nice. Unfortunately, I can't tell you what that was about. Anyways, no, it's nothing. She was happy to move because all New Yorkers are, hey, Harry. So basically, we shifted the light around, the card around rather, to get a little more kick up in his eyes. And yeah. Oh, well. We're going to remove this for Scott because he doesn't like Macintosh products. He's a Linux. Is that how you say it, Linux? Okay. Dave says yes. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it or not. I've only seen it written. I don't think I've ever actually said it.
Although it's got a unique
Oh, yeah. Anyways. Okay, are we going? Okay, are we going to rehearse this one? That way we can actually. Oh, I see what we're doing. Cleaning up background. You can just stand back there. You got a black shirt on. Let's stand back there and cover that bad area. That's that.
rehearsing?
I think you should rehearse once. That way people online can hear, because they can't hear when you're not rehearsing. Yeah, this way they can hear.
Cool.
Very good.
Okay, here we go.
And do one quick rehearsal, guys, and whenever you're ready.
So I've actually got to confess to you, Sammy, that the reason why you might not have heard from me for a little while, it's because I was unable to write. Because I was in jail for a little while.
You were what?
Yeah, I was in jail for a little while in Florida for this bullshit.
What?
No, it was bullshit.
What did you do?
I didn't do anything. Did it ever occur to you that maybe I was the one who was wronged here?
No.
Well, if you let me explain it.
Oh my God. What happened?
Okay, I got into a bar fight down in Florida, which, by the way, I was not the one who instigated it at all. But they worked up all this bullshit around it, and then they threw me in the pen for 3 months. Listen, I didn't write to you because I didn't want you to get upset about it, okay? I just figured that you'd figure that I was out working, you know? It's stupid. I'm stupid. I'm sorry. I really don't want you to worry. You know what? I can't go around living my life doing stuff or not doing stuff because I think you're going to worry about it, you know? Because I come here and I'm trying to tell you about this fucking trauma that I've went through, and you just give me this wounded little I've done you wrong bullshit over and over again every single time. And it's like cramping me, you know? I can't get out from under it. And here I am in the same exact fucking spot trying to explain to you again.
Okay, can you please stop cursing at me?
Okay, yeah, I know I'm not allowed to say anything or have an opinion about anything anymore, right? But it's not like I went down there to this redneck bar in Florida and got into an argument with some stripper's boyfriend, and then all of a sudden it popped into my head, oh, you know how I could really stick it to Sammy is by sending myself to jail for 3 months.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, me too. Welcome home.
Yeah. You don't write me for 6 months. I have no idea where you are.
I'm sorry.
I don't know if you're alive or dead.
I'm sorry.
And out of nowhere, you come and tell me you were in jail?
I am sorry. I'm sorry. I am sorry, Sammy. I really am.
That's a cut. Good. Everything felt good?
Yeah. Want to roll it?
Sad. Yeah, let's roll it.
Cool.
Okay. That was good. We're gonna go for a take.
Ooh, I can't run around all the time.
Okay, we're going to do a take now, so you guys are probably going to lose a little audio online. We'll run through it a couple times, and then I was asked we're going to go over the lighting before we wrap, because it's being blocked. Okay. Cool. Okay. So we're gonna do it again.
Yeah, let's go again real quick.
One more time. We're getting an encore. You didn't see the first time. So we're gonna do an encore. I made everybody just turn and look at you. Sorry. That's gonna do an encore, and then we're gonna go over the lighting one more time before we wrap. Okay, cool. All right, so we got it, I think, right?
Yeah,
we got it?
Oh, yeah.
Fernando's going to talk. He got the microphone out, so.
We
Or
got
he's
it.
going to sing. That's it. That's all he had to say.
Yeah, we got it.
No, we do have it, because they actually, Ben bow. You want to come and bow? Annalise came forward to bow.
Annalisa needs to bow after every performance.
We want to see her bow. Oh, all right. All right, so I promised online that I would go through the lighting one more time. So I will. So here we are, right? We've got windows behind the subjects in our framing. We wanted to make it seem as natural as possible. So what we ended up doing was we'll kill the lights here, Seth. People don't care about seeing me. They see me enough. So we have, which is actually probably blocking everything. Let's turn to the camera so people can see the light as we deconstruct it, please. Nope, not that camera. The camera, Dave's camera, the FF7. The video camera. There we go. I say the camera, there's like 8 cameras here. So basically we've got this as a shot set up here, and we've got this white bounce card. So it's just kind of kicking back a little bit of our light. If we remove it, actually you can remove it. Fernando will remove it. It's going to make our shadows come down a bit, make them a little darker, right? Right? You see that? Thank God that looked different. By the way, if you put up a light and it doesn't do anything, you still leave it there because you get paid. You don't want to make it look like that way. So now the idea here is we're trying to make it look like it's lit by the windows, but in fact, it's actually lit by these LED lights. So they're Westcott flex lights up in the window. If we turn those off now, right, that's one, that's two. Okay, so that's our scene, right, with no light. So the idea here is to try to make it seem as natural as possible, right? So now we look at it and we're like, wow, that's such a shock. Well, when you were first looking through the camera, it didn't feel like it was lit, right? It felt very natural, and that's what we're going for here. We have Westcott LED lights in the window. They're called Flex. They're daylight balanced, this particular set. We have them dimmed to give us the proper amount of light that we needed for our scene. They are battery operated because we've got them hanging in a window, right? And there might not be power back there. I think there is a power back there, but we run them off battery just to be safe. They've got little diffusion in front of it. Nice and simple, right? We just dialed it in when we wanted it.
Dave, can you turn it off?
Ah. Oh, look at that. We're getting special angles and everything. There you go. Look at the zoom lens. By the way, if you probably can't see it on at home, obviously, but I feel like I would want to use that camera all the time. This is the Blackmagic studio camera. It just has this giant screen on it. It's like a giant iPad. I mean, you can't really walk around with it, obviously, because it's a studio camera, but so yeah, so we've got the lights up there. Again, they're just clamped up there. There's a battery powering them. Simple as that, right? Nothing super complicated. We knew what we wanted it to look like. We did actually just, you know, they filled in the window, the center window with some TVs recently. Originally, when we had conceived to shoot this, the windows were completely empty, so we thought, hey, that'd be nice. We'll just show what's out the outside. Because the TVs were very distracting, we decided to just throw up some black duvetine over that spot. Obviously, if you were actually going to try to make it look like a restaurant, you might hang like curtains or something there, or whatever you like. I mean, you could even put a piece of wood there and fill in the window while you're gone. Whatever you need to do for your particular scene. They don't let us construct stuff here, so we have to keep it simple. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Simple as that. Questions? Yes. Well, that's a good question. How do you determine the light ratio? Yeah, we didn't. So the question is, how do you determine the light ratio? I mean, part of it comes from, because we have the camera here, right? So there's two different ways you can approach lighting. You have the camera, and you don't have the camera, right? If I didn't have a camera, I would have to use a light meter, right? I'd get a feel for it. I'd know what I was going for based on my camera's dynamic range and what it can handle, right? If we have the camera, we can look and get it generally to our eye, and then there's tools inside the camera, which Dave's about to talk about, I have a feeling.
Yes. Yeah. So in most video or cinema cameras, there's like a waveform monitor, and it gives you kind of this horizontal readout of the image, and it shows you how bright each part of the shot is. So using that, you can pretty quickly and easily actually see like where somebody's highlights are and everything like that. And then you're looking at the actual recorded values, right? So, you know, 50% or whatever, maybe half the brightness of 100%. So using that will help you get on some level ratios, but it's not as exact in that sense. I mean, you could use it for that. Usually I use it to make sure that we're not blowing out our highlights and that we've got detail in the shadows, and you know, it's like a confidence monitor in a way, you know. But yeah, like he said, we've done this enough that if like you want it to look kind of natural, then you're probably by eye. If it looks natural, and it's probably, you know, it looks natural. If it doesn't look natural to your eye, then the numbers are gonna, you know, they might throw you off. You know, if you're like, oh, I want to do a 2-to-1 ratio on the highlight and the shadow, cool. It might not look natural. So if you want the 2-to-1, if that's more important, right, to have the light ratios exact, then go for that. But yeah, usually you'll use a light meter and stuff like that. I use a light meter a lot when I'm, like you said, when we don't have the camera, or I'm just trying to make sure that I want a very specific lighting setup, or repeatability. You know, if you're setting up the lights for this shoot, and then you get them like this, you get it to look good, then you use a light meter you might use Light Meter to record the values basically. Like, you know, you've lit the set to, you know, f4, so now the next day, or maybe you come back 2 weeks later and you have to do a reshoot, then you know to light it to f4, and you know it still works. Actually, we did not use a LUT. Somebody online asked. We did not have a LUT on the output. This was the S-Log output through the SDI.
Yeah, one of the issues that we have here when we do this for you guys is we're shooting, along with the fact that we're trying to produce a dialogue as best as possible in a retail store, we also are going into a multicam system and then into a streamer. So that's so you can watch what we're doing. So we have to make some compromises in some settings based on that. So yeah, depending on, you know, sometimes we can have a LUT and not, depending on the camera and how it reacts to the multicam and stuff. This time we didn't do it. I think we have done it in the past with other cameras. Some cameras allow us to do it for whatever reason, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't actually know that part, except sometimes we do it, sometimes we don't. But we didn't this
Depending
time.
on the camera mode,
The
that
mode
you're
of
on
the camera,
it
how you're
might
shooting.
allow or disallow.
Yeah. I think when we had the Alexa, we
Other
had
settings that we have too, like sometimes if you're doing 60 or what, like
right,
the output settings to the fun stuff.
So yeah, we try to work within the parameters of what we have here, which is kind of a good exercise because you're never gonna, or very rarely, you're ever gonna have everything perfect anyways. So you're always gonna make some compromises. We're compromising because of this. You may compromise because of the budget or the location you're at or the time you have or whatever. So it's always good to try to, you know, work around things as best as possible and still get the best result you possibly can. On that note, I'll mention again, I said at the beginning, Dave will edit this together, and we'll put a link to it in the comments. So that way you guys can see it edited, so you'll see it with color grading, and yeah, it'll look good. Yeah, we'll add little special effects. There'll be some explosions going on in the background, that kind of thing.
Another van.
Yeah, a van. We'll switch out one of the actors, you know, that kind of stuff. So, any questions before we wrap up on this one? No, that was pretty good because that was perfect. Or it was so bad you have no idea what's going on. A little bit in the middle. Okay, good.
Somewhere in the middle.
I'll take middle ground. That's fine with me. Okay, so thanks. Next week we're back to. Did you cut me already? Okay. Cut me right in the middle of talk. Next week we're back to photo. So next week at 12 o'clock we'll be doing I think gray backgrounds. Because I always joke that Adorama gives me this one gray background, which is actually the truth. So we're going to make as many different looks with this gray background as we possibly can next week. So you can see that I really do use the same gray background all the time. And that should be really fun. And then on the 13th, which is also next week, after, so if you're local, or you could watch it, I guess. We're going to stream that? We're not going to stream it. We're going to do a critique. So if you want to bring photos in, and we'll talk about them a little bit with you and maybe give you some encouraging positive things, or Seth will say negative things.
Only you.
No.
Negative.
No, we're streaming. So we can see. All right, so yeah, so tune in next week. Thanks for watching, guys.
The next session is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. For people that are here, sorry, online, we're going to do another one at 3. We're doing a scene from another movie, a noir scene.
One of my favorites.
Now we can sign off. Thank you, Seth.